Have you ever been faced with so much in your life, just one thing after another, and it just doesn't get easier, and you start to ask God, what am I doing wrong? What can I fix? Maybe you haven't, but I have here recently, actually, because I'm being faced with so much, you know, and I just tell myself, just find the lesson, just find the lesson. But I'm like, for the last couple of years of my life, I've made a conscious step forward every day, being a better person than the person I was the day before. I've worked on my spiritual journey. I've developed a personal relationship with God. And I've just, I haven't been this person that I had been. I've been on a celibacy journey, and I believe that, it's just best for me as a single mother to focus on my child and making sure that she has the upbringing full of love and the best of what I can give her. I tried with her dad. It's just not going to happen, and he's not the best role model. And I've talked about that before on this channel, so I won't get into it. And I'm not going to have a parade of different men in and out of my child's life. So I've just been focused on raising her, doing what I can. Honestly, this school year, we've started homeschooling because I felt like the public school system was failing her. She gotten all the way to the third grade, and I was trying to figure out how come my baby can't read yet. It's not because she's not smart. It's because she has anxiety and she can't focus, and why they don't think that's ADHD and why it's so hard to get a diagnosis um, beyond anxiety is beyond me. But when I've done one on one with her using the Texas public school systems online, we're straight A's. So she needed a smaller setting. She misses her friends. She's very social and she loves to play. So, luckily, in the neighborhood we live in, there are kids around her age that she plays with every day, just about. But yeah, we here lately, it's just like, wow, no matter what I do, I've forgiven people. I turn the other cheek when people are like really coming for me, and I bite my tongue when, old me would have been telling them about themselves and being spiteful, and I don't see the purpose in doing that anymore because I've healed from things and I know that hurt people hurt others, and I've moved on from that. So if someone's hurting me, it's because they're hurting, and I recognize that not everybody can see it the way that I do. And I've put in boundaries in place for the people that were supposed to love me that never did, and maybe, you know, maybe that's a lot of my problem is childhood trauma. I don't know. And I asked God, what should I be doing different? And God was like, you're not being real. So God, I'm not being real. He's like, he said, I told you to tell your story. And I've told some stories. I've got on here and they're all old stories. He told me I'm to be telling people the stories that I am going through to help them because there are others going through it with me. Let them know that they're not alone so that we can heal together. And some people are like, oh, don't be doing all that oversharing on the internet. So I'm like worried about what people think about me when I'm the first one to be on here telling people not to worry what others think about them. But I'm sitting here like, oh, they're gonna think I'm an oversharer, and I don't know if it's because of the ADHD or the childhood trauma, but you know, God said I told you to do it though. You've been manifesting, you've been wanting better, but you haven't kept it 100. And I try to just, help people with encouragement and messages that are helping me as well. This is what God wants me to do. So if someone has something to say about it, you can talk to him. Okay. So I'm facing some really tough things in my life that are hard for me to speak about, very hard. But I try to hold it together and make it look like there's nothing wrong. But the truth is, was about a month ago, I was in a car accident. And while I am here and I am alive, were the injuries? Yes, there were injuries. And I'm working, getting treatment to, you know, get back to where I was before. But, getting back to this accident, it wasn't my fault. I was just driving down the road and there was a car getting ready to pull out of a parking lot. And instead of stopping, they just slammed into the side of me and T-boned me. And it was a young guy. The first thing was like, "Are you okay?" He said he was okay. He was just shaking up a bit, and he was like, "I'm just leaving work, and I'm on my lunch break, and I apologize. It was my fault." He was like, "I thought you were switching lanes for some reason, and I seen you. I don't know why I didn't stop." And I was just like, "Yeah, something told me to get in the other lane." But I was like, "No, he sees me, so I'm gonna keep going." And I didn't put my blinker on or nothing. But anyways, that happened. He was very honest, and I pray that everything is well with him. I hope everything is okay. Um, he did get a lot of damage to his truck that was a lot larger than my vehicle. Got a lot of damage. Um, my vehicle was damaged, and it was also totaled out. And because I was not at fault, and because he had insurance, I'll be compensated some. But this insurance company, it's nothing like the one I used to work for, but I used to work for a bougie insurance company, but it's been well over a month and I haven't seen anything. It's been a very slow process. My vehicle was towed that night to wherever the officers had it towed. And it was just left there. The insurance company didn't even come for it. And um, I got some counsel on it, and they're like, "No, you shouldn't leave it sitting there. Go ahead and have it towed wherever you are." And I was just like, I called to do that, but they wanted a lot of money to do that. I was just like, wow. And then the person I spoke to, and I was just like, yeah, that's just a lot to come out, up top for me right now. I'm not in the position to do that. And he was like, well, actually, if you weren't at fault in the accident, their insurance company is supposed to come and pick it up and pay for it. And so I was like, okay. But, I had to do that. I really didn't have a choice, honestly. It was either get groceries and let it sit there or not get groceries and be reimbursed the money maybe a month or two later. That was my choice. So, of course, I have a daughter. We need to eat. So, anyways, yeah, like I said, I'd been homeschooling my daughter. And so it was kind of hard to work because that was taking up a lot of my time, but I was glad to do it. I live somewhere where I don't really have to pay a whole lot to get by every month. it's not a lot at all. So I would do like DoorDash at night and on the weekends. And, you know, I didn't really need that much to get by. I did a lot of cooking at home. You can honestly cook for less. It just depends on what you're buying. A lot of processed foods are going to cost more, but if you make it homemade, you're not really looking at a whole lot. It's not too bad. It's not as good as it used to be, but it's doable. So we were getting by. And it was actually kind of decent money. It wasn't the best money, but it was decent money. So my vehicle ended up being totaled by the time the insurance company came and picked it up, and they left it there for a while. Um, I think maybe after a week after I spoke to them, they called me to ask me where it was. I was like, oh my God, they haven't picked it up yet. And then I'm having to lose that money for the storage fees from the money that they owe me. So I'm just like, wow. So they are sending me something. Have I received it yet? No, absolutely not. And it's been a it's been a long time for me. It's been over a month. But you know, when you don't get a paycheck for a whole month and you don't have any other source of income coming in, it's a long time. So in the meantime, December 1st came, I didn't have the rent. I tried to work something out. They were like, yeah, we'll give you till the 15th, but you this much of a late fee. And I said, okay. And I was just like, there's no way that I won't have that money by the 15th. And 15th came and left. And now they're like, yeah, sorry, we gave you 15 days. That's all you're going to get from us. And they gave me an eviction. So I'm looking at eviction. I got less than a month um, to leave, pretty much. They just asked me to leave. So I'm like, man, it's kind of cold outside. I don't have a car. I can't just go sleep in my car because it's totaled out. I had to sign the title over to the insurance company for them to send me this check that's not even enough for a down payment for another vehicle. And I don't even have an income to be able to get another vehicle besides getting back to DoorDash. And like, God, I'm just going to get a job. And God was like, I told you I didn't want you working. Hey, God, every time I get a job, every single time, He might let me get a job, but it don't last long. And there's always problems. I either get fired or it's to the point where I can't work or they won't put me on the schedule or something weird always happens. And the main thing that happens is I don't focus on my spiritual journey as much as I should because I'm so tired from being a mother and from working and taking care of stuff around the house and just doing things that anyone would have to do, whether they were a parent or not. And there's not a lot of balance, but I need spirituality in my life. I need it like I need the air that I breathe and the food that I eat. And God told me my purpose is to teach others, to be a healer, and to tell my story. And it's scary, it's not easy. I know I ain't the only person that's ever been faced with something like this. And I know other people are going through it too. And it was not because I was going out and spending my money that I should have been using to pay for rent. It's not that, I wasn't working because I was doing what I could, but my child came first. My family comes first. And it's still It's still hard not to feel like a failure, if I'm being honest. I'm not going to get emotional, but this is me being real. This is me taking my mask off because I ain't the only one going through this. But yeah, I was watching this other creator today wasting time. God was like, quit wasting your time procrastinating. But I was watching this other creator today, and this young man, became homeless because he lost his job and he was kicked out. So he went in the woods and he built himself a little cabin, just him and his dogs. And he's trying his best. And he has the most positive attitude and he's so excited. But yeah, it really touched my heart. Really touched my heart. And I know if that man had it, he would be helping others. Because while I'm sitting here facing this eviction, I start calling around trying to see if there's any homeless shelters. They don't even have anything like that. They have where you can call to see if there's a bed for that night. And some places don't open unless the wind chill gets below like 34 or something. And it's completely different from what I thought it was or what it was someplace in another state that I've lived. So it's scary, you know? It's scary that we either have to beg for help and do what the government wants you to do or be cast away. And it's crazy how the rent is so high some places. The food costs is so high. The pay is low. They're still over here trying to hire people for $8 and $9 an hour. But the average rent is like $1,000 a month for a 1 bedroom. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Plus, you got to pay electric, and the public transportation system is not that great because I've had to use that since my vehicle's been totaled out. It's not that great, but you gotta pay bills, and they kind of make it to where unless you're doing really well, you ain't gonna make it. And there has to be a better way. And I know if I was in a better position financially, I would make a way for others because I didn't know it was this bad. I thought that, if you could pass a background check, you could sign up with a shelter and then have a bed to stay until you have to leave. And, like, if you have to share a room with other people, that's fine. But you knew that you can come home and take showers. It's not like that here. And I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I'm celibate. um, I'm estranged from my family. Why don't you just call your family? I don't have any family, honestly. I don't know anyone where I'm at. And when you're an introvert and you're a little bit different, it's kind of hard to keep friends, you know? Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. But yeah, right now is a period of refocusing on what's important so that things will balance out in my life and your life too. If you're listening to this and it relates to you, The scales will balance, things will work out. But find the silver lining, find the reason, or the lesson, I should say. Find the lesson, because then you will find your blessing. And if you could help somebody out, help them out. We live in a cold, dark world. There's so much cold heartedness. But if you were still listening to this video, I don't think you're cold hearted. Unless you are and you just think it's funny, or you're just entertained by someone else's hardship. But that's your issue, and I'm not worried about it. I'm just trying to be obedient and do what I'm told to do. But yeah, that's the message I have right now. I hope that I've helped somebody, and I hope that y'all stay blessed. I'm sending so much love your way.